Good evening, everybody. I am WWE Champion, Drew McIntyre. And guess who I've got with me today? Star of the new Netflix movie Extraction, Chris Hemsworth. How are you, mate?
Very good, thank you, mate. How you doing?
Oh, fantastic. I mean, this is the first ever interview I've ever conducted. I've been interviewed hundreds of times, so if I'm terrible, I apologize.
It's not new to all of us anyway. This style of the interviewing and communicating anyway. So
Yeah, this Zoom thing's been great. Like for, doing the interviews, catching up with old family and friends. I love it. So whoever created Zoom, you're a genius. You're making a fortune, and thank you from all of us. Right, let's get to the movie. My wife and I watched Extraction today, and I have to say we really enjoyed it. But for those who haven't seen the #1 movie on Netflix, shame on you. So tell us a bit about it and tell us about your role as Tyler.
sure. Yeah, this film, the script came to me from Joe Russo and Anthony Russo, who were the directors of Infinity War and Endgame, and they had the main stunt coordinator, stunt director from those films wanting to direct it. And so the group of us got together and wanted to make the most insane action film that was around and push the envelope and do things that were fairly unique to the action space, and very little special effects and very little green screen, blue screen, and just do it all in camera. And so it was an intimidating thing to launch into at the start, just because it meant, the nature of the way we were shooting, we couldn't have too many stunt doubles and replacements and so on. So I had to do, 95% of it. But I got to say, one of the most rewarding films that I've worked on, just because each day we'd, achieve something. It felt like we'd done something pretty special. But the story takes place through with the backdrop in India, Bangladesh. There's these warring crime lords, and there's a kidnap situation. One of the crime lord's sons is kidnapped, and I have to come in to basically extract this kid from the situation. When I arrive there, the whole city ascends on him basically, and all hell breaks loose. And it's pretty non-stop from start to finish.
Yeah, it's awesome. I was talking to my wife about this, and I've tried to think of a way to verbalize it, I guess. And I was saying, I think Chris is like the evolution of, I want to say, an action star, but I think it's kind of pigeonholing you just to say action star. There's so much more to give. Like when we were younger, we're similar ages. We had like Arnold and Stallone and very similar movies, just action for the sake of action. But you're watching one of your movies, there's always a great story. It's got heart. You're such a versatile actor, and you get to show that in this movie. And of course, there's all the action, which is cool. So, like, congratulations. The kids today are going to be talking about you in the future, and you're such a, brilliant actor. So it's a great movie. Check it out.
Oh, thanks, mate. That was also, I had done so many films with, heavy action and fantasy and so on involved, and I wasn't keen to just do an action film. I wanted to do something that did have an emotional thread in there, did have a real heartbeat, and something that people could connect to. And that was what was, I found pretty fascinating about this story. It was something that, a lot of people had that response. So there was an emotional component that you don't normally see in an action film. So I appreciate your kind words there.
What about the mindset? Get into the character of Tyler there. Like, how do you get yourself into that character? He's a good guy, but a bad guy with shades of grey, with that troubled past. How do you get into the head of Tyler?
Look, we had had many conversations prior to shooting it, about what's not on the page, and that I find is often the key. You have your dialect, the dialogue, which tells one story and tells a version of it. You have your own internal sort of understanding of it, then you have your sort of an understanding of what an audience is going to perceive from that. So just feeling that sort of backstory with, the truth of that character, which is that, he had lost a child in his life. I think anyone who has children, I have kids myself, there's an immediate sort of, gut-wrenching response to that sort of, that idea, even in a sort of an imaginary space as shooting a movie. But I was also, it was a 3-month shoot and flying away for 3 or 4 weeks shooting, coming home for a couple of days to see them, going back. So I certainly, was able to sort of manipulate or take advantage of, my emotional state, which was, missing them more than I'd ever missed them. And having them absent in my, space certainly was sort of taking its toll. That in conjunction with, long days, just exhaustion, working nonstop. But also when there's a script like that, which it has such a beautifully threaded emotional component, something you can relate to, something that, speaks the truth that a lot of people can sort of somehow identify with or understand, it's a little easier. Yeah.
Right, let's talk about the app, the Center app. I had a chance to check it out earlier on, and it's interesting. Most apps that I've seen, fitness apps, are generally for one specific area. I've never seen something that encompasses so many different aspects of training and diet, etc., and really easy to follow. Like, what inspired you guys? Actually, let's bring your buddy into the call here. Where's Luke at?
Luke.
We get the name right. Luke Zochin.
Hey, young boy.
Lads, what inspired you all to create this app? Like, considering the times we're living in right now, I know a lot of people are struggling, with exercise and especially being indoors. And this app, again, like it covers everything. This is the perfect app during these times. Like, what inspired you all to put it together?
Well, we had, look, over the years, Luke's been my trainer on a movie set for 7, 8 years now.
7 years.
7 years. I've known Luke since I was 6 years old. And I looked at all the people in my life that I was, getting information like that from Luke, dietitians, different nutritionists, mindfulness experts, mental fitness experts. So we decided to sort of bring all that information and all those people into one space where people all over the world could access it, and concentrating, as you mentioned, on the 3 key pillars of fitness, movement, training, nutrition, and mindfulness. And Luke's, one of our main trainers on the app. And
that's it. I'm there. I think also, Chris, it's what's been cool through your career. It's almost like every time you do a role, we learn something new, a different thing about training, and it's kind of been a progression of all the years of all the stuff we've learned over the 7 years that was kind of helped put into this app as well, which is pretty cool.
Sure. Yeah. Having the opportunity to, to being forced to have to transform in such a way physically has been, as Luke said, just a fantastic education. And we thought, let's use that and put it somewhere and give people access to it.
Yeah, it's awesome. I mean, there's something for like the beginners right to the advanced.
Yep.
You just type in your information, what you're looking to gain out of fitness, because every person's different body types, different goals. Your app covers everything. I strongly suggest, everyone checks it out.
Yeah, it was great. It also, the idea originally was sort of minimal equipment, and a lot of the exercises were based around that. Then we did put, gym workouts with machine workouts and so on there available as well. But predominantly it was at-home workouts, do-it-yourself, which for this period in time, we've got some really positive, wonderful feedback from people who are, in an isolated situation but can still do these workouts. So it's been great to be able to help out in any way.
See, I'm the WWE champion right now. I'm technically number 1, but I like to train like I'm number 2. So what can I do, lads? It's outside the box. It's a little bit different. It's going to keep me ahead of the rest of the competition in WWE.
Oh, wow. I'll tell you something that we loved, which you do a lot of high impact sort of, incredibly physical work, right? And I found that, we did some water training with dumbbells a few months back, which was designed, I think, by Laird Hamilton, a big wave surfer. And so there's no impact. You're underwater. It's about a breath hold. So you're sort of restricted. And obviously you're underwater. You get a real panic from being underwater. Anyone who's sort of hold their breath and get to that last bit. And then if you're forced to sort of be exercising under restricted oxygen, again, the mental, challenge comes into play there, and being able to sort of control your mindset in a situation where you are, you potentially, have a greater risk of freaking out.
Wow, that's very different, very interesting. I think my body would thank you a lot for getting into the underwater training. So I'm going to look into that. All right, I better get into these. We've got quick fire questions, if you don't mind here. I want to make sure, I'm going to miss something. So I've incorporated a bunch of quick fire questions. If I can fire them your way and then shoot back at me the first answers that come to mind, if that's cool.
Oh, no.
Sure. I was nervous about this.
What are 4 on the road hotel room power moves that would help get the job done?
Push-ups, squats, lunges, sit-throughs, or bear crawls.
What should people still avoid in a cheat meal? Ooh.
Nothing.
Yeah,
That's why it's called a cheat meal. Avoid having a cheat day, I think, is the key. You know,
Yeah.
your cheat meal's good. People kind of decide that it's, you know, a 24-hour period in which you can sort of consume your body weight in calories, which maybe not.
I have 2 or 3 cheat meals a day sometimes. It's all about those calories. All right. If we had to pick one all-time power workout, what would it be?
Big fan. You're a big fan of chin-ups, Chris. You're a big fan of chin-ups, I reckon.
Yeah, chin-ups are good.
Could you always do them, or did you practice them?
I definitely practiced them, but I always I wasn't generally that heavy. I was a pretty skinny kid. Chin-ups certainly, you know, get harder the heavier you get. But yeah, I guess I have done them a lot since I was young. Zoc and I used to box together years ago, and they're always body weight, push-up, chin-ups, you know, squats, that kind of thing in amongst your shadow boxing and your pad work and whatever. So
it's been awesome to speak to you both. You know, thank you for hanging out with me for a minute here, passing the time. I know it's early over in Australia right now. My day's winding up. I've watched Extraction. Everyone else better check out Extraction. You better check out the Centre app. And cheers, lads.
Thanks so much, mate.
Thanks so much, buddy. Thank you so much.
Thanks for
appreciate
hanging
it,
out, mate. Good to talk to you. Best of
Take
luck.
care of yourself.
And next time we'll do it in person.